Hello and welcome. Oh my goodness. The pleasure of meeting today and having a conversation with the beautiful Samantha Lotus, beautiful in and out. She is coming to us today from Dubai, where pre-show I just asked her, "What's the temperature?" She said, a nice 120. Oh my goodness. Uh, Samantha is one of a kind, and I'll tell you, she works with high achievers, helping them to expand and grow their gifts. Um, and she comes from a place, I love when she shares that this is all about that we are in the age of empowerment. So, Samantha, before we start talking about breaking through, facing, and changing fear, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Mm. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. First off, I love that we're doing this summit. It is so needed now more than ever, and I'm really grateful to be a part of it. So I wanted to start there. And yeah, you explained it beautifully. I go by many different titles. Right now, it's holistic master coach, but it's really an incorporation of blending psychology, natural medicine, life coaching, entrepreneurship, just to help people truly be in their power. And I like to share it instead of more of what I do, just more of who I am. And that's really somebody that's unapologetically devoted to truth, to love, to freedom, and to radical self-mastery. And that is what I'm here for on this planet. And breaking through fear is the first step where it really all happens. We've heard it a million times. Everything you've ever wanted is on that other side of fear. And so here we are. And I'm really excited to dive into this super potent topic with you.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for joining us. And let's talk about that. I agree wholeheartedly that fear is, we have to get there. We have to go there first because if not, it will undermine everything that we're thinking about, which of course then creates our feelings, which creates what we choose to do, which creates our outcomes. It's this cycle, and it can be a beautiful cycle. So, how do you have your high achieving clients really embrace this importance, and what first steps do you have them take?
Mm. I think the thing with high achievers is fundamentally that they have already not necessarily conquered fear, but they feel the fear and do it anyways. So I think that that's what a high achiever is, somebody that is just so focused on the goal, so focused on the pathway that they don't really look to the sides of how they're not enough or not deserving or afraid or how they might fail. And that's truly what a high achiever is. But to get to being there, right? If for people that are still like they're ambitious and they know they have a goal, but they're stuck, that's where we have to look. What are the stories? What are the beliefs? What are the feelings? What are the identities that you have built in yourself or that other people have programmed in there, your society or whatever it might be? What are the things that are holding you back, right? What are the prisons that you're in? And we have to look at that. We have to peel back all of those layers so that we can break through and really focus on what it is that we actually want. And that's the thing, so many people, they don't even, because most people are not taught to self-reflect or to kind of take that macro perspective. They're like, I'm not really afraid. I don't have limiting beliefs. I don't have identities. I'm just me. Well, when we start to think of what were the things your parents said about you, or what are the beliefs that you hold about what you're capable of, or what's possible in this lifetime, or what you can actually achieve. Most people are playing it so small without even knowing it. And so the first thing is, okay, looking at what is, but then also expanding what's possible. And that's something that gets to be really, really fun and does take some courage and bravery. But if you can at least start there to see where you are, what might be holding you back, expand to what can be possible, and then there we go into tactical, make a plan and all of that kind of thing. But it really does first take that macro level analysis and looking at things radically to be able to take that first step.
Getting someone, and I shouldn't say, I think I'm always hopeful for those that don't have the desire. I'm hopeful that for them to get the desire for the desire. You know, it sounds simple, doesn't it? Oh, let's take some time, do self-reflection, get this, you know, higher perspective on where we are and what we're doing, and really and truly where within ourselves are we holding back, playing small. It seems to me that so many are hesitant to really understand the depth, the importance of taking this time. It's a gift to other people when we dive within to clear and to open. How in the world do you get them to create, to understand the importance of taking that time and actually doing it?
Mm. I think there are some people that just won't. And so I don't actually
I agree.
get anyone to do anything. But that's the thing. There's the people that want to get somewhere and they want to achieve something. And if they're open and willing and coachable, then you can say, okay, this is the work to do, right? And if they have that desire, they're normally going to listen. If they're working with somebody that they trust, that okay, I'm going to listen. But the people that don't want to, right? A lot of people come to me and they say, oh, my brother, he's really struggling. He just doesn't have any motivation. Or, oh, my husband, and what can I do to get him? Well, you can't really, you can't force anyone. But what happens with those kind of people is sometimes they just coast there forever, but most of the time the pain of not accomplishing your life purpose or not succeeding in anything, not creating, not expressing yourself, right? That's like the core desire of the soul. The pain of not doing that oftentimes gets so big or so strong, or the universe knocks you out of that path by giving you a car accident or having a divorce or having a major loss in your life, right? There's something that happens that shakes people up, and then they start to seek. And so I find that it has to be preceded with the seeking to have something more, and then being aware that, well, that's something more, what do I even want, comes not from externally, from what your teachers are going to tell you or your mom's going to tell you, but it comes from inside. And so there's kind of like a domino effect that happens for people. And it really just depends on where you are in your life. But the perfect person for this kind of work is if you know that there's more for you, you know that there's something you want, there's something greater, and you feel stuck or confused, or you're not sure what to do or what decision to make, and you feel like, that stuck feeling,
Yeah.
that's when it's like, tune down all of the outside world, close it off, shut down your Netflix, turn off your YouTube, and sit with yourself, and then ask those questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I meant for? How am I meant to express my soul on this planet? And then listen, and the messages will come.
Beautifully said, of course. And I agree. I'm going to say that at least 95% of our audience, they're there, they're here because they want that. They're willing, they're ready, and they want to take that deep dive into this soul searching and breaking through. I'm not sure if you have like the most common three fears that those that are willing to grow face.
Yeah.
And I have, and I don't want to speak for you, but there are a few that seem to be recurring. Do you find that with your
Yeah.
client?
Yeah. Well, my clients specifically, I work mostly with women and mostly with entrepreneurial, spiritual, conscious women that either really want to get healthy and healthy enough for themselves than to bring a child into this world, or they really are building a business or simultaneously, right? This like this
Yeah.
empowered entrepreneurial woman. And a big fear, not for everyone, but for many, is the fear of being seen, which is actually the fear of being rejected.
Mhm.
So there's the fear of being rejected, which is really the fear of not being good enough, right? So there's that I'm not enough. That's such a huge core fear.
Mhm.
And another one is well, imposter syndrome, which comes back down to I am not enough, who's going to believe me, who's going to listen to me, which is I'm not enough. And then the fear of failure, right? That like, what if I go and I invest everything into this thing that I really want to do? I feel it's and what if it never happens? What if I just fail and I can never achieve it? And really that's like fear of not enoughness as well, and believing in oneself. So I feel like they all come back down to those same core fear of not enoughness. And it just manifests in different ways.
I'm going to say right, right, and right. Agree, agree, agree. This fear of not being enough, we all go forward in life from however we were raised by imperfectly perfect people. And at some point, like you said, generally, oftentimes there is a pain to purpose. And then from there, like, okay, well, I have this purpose, but I'm not enough.
Yeah.
And in whatever way,
Yeah.
but I'm ready and I'm willing.
Mm.
And when they are there and they come to you and say, okay, I'm ready and I'm willing and I'm going to take this time and I'm going to do this self-reflection. And you're like, okay, let's take a step forward. And I'm sure each step is, as each individual, very unique. But in general, if you could, what would be an action step
Mm.
forward that you
Yeah.
would share with the audience if they are at that place?
Mm. Yeah, so a framework that I use is the framework of alchemy, and it's a three-step framework that I use for everything, no matter what your goal, who you are, where you're going, where you're from. The three steps of alchemy, the first step is awareness. So you have to look at everything, right? That's that first step of like, okay, you look at where am I, what do I want, where am I stuck, da da da, like what are my resources, what don't I have, what do I need? You kind of just look at everything. That's the awareness. And then there's the breakdown phase, which is phase 2 of alchemy. Say if you're looking at the original alchemist melting metal and turning it into gold, right? The first thing is, what am I going to do? The second thing is melt down the metal. So by melting down, that's where you look at all of the limiting beliefs, the diminishers, the identities, the blockages, all of those things. You kind of break that down. And then we go into the action phase or the building phase. And for this phase, to answer your question, it's focusing on the drivers. So that I think there's two main drivers. One is, what is the goal or what's the journey, right? Like, what are you actually looking to achieve? And having that target, you need to know what you're working for. And then the second thing is why. And this is the most important thing. And the actual target is never the why. It's not that you want to build a business. That's not why. It's not that you just even want to have a baby. That's not actually why. The why is the emotional, like I want to build a business because I want to share my medicine with the world, because I want to feel fulfilled. I want to know I help people. I want to make $1 million. No, you don't want to make $1 million. $1 million means nothing. It's because you want freedom, or maybe you want luxury, or you want to, but even that, well, what does that feel like? So the why it's like a deep core values and feelings. Even if it's to start a family, that's just the surface. It's like, well, why? Because I know I'm meant to be a mom. I know I'm meant to raise a child. I know I'm meant to give the love, or God is moving through me. It comes down to like this visceral core soul embodiment. And if you don't know where you're going and you don't know why you're going there, it's not
Mm-mm.
no target and no energetic momentum to even get there. And so if those things are important enough to you, the where you're going or what you're looking to achieve and the why, I just tell people that that's where you need to focus fully. Forget forget all of the other things. Forget the people with their naysaying, forget the challenges, forget the obstacles, forget the sacrifices. You know they're there. It's going to be hard. Everything's hard. Everything sucks at some point. Everything's hard. Everything's work. Even the things, if you love what you do, you never work. Yes, you do. Even if you love what you do, it's still work. It's still effort. But that's if it's really what you want, what your purpose is, and you know your core why, that's all you have to focus on. Keep attuning to that, connecting to that, and then make a plan or have somebody make the plan with you, like a mentor, and just follow the plan every single day with consistent, aligned action. And that's it.
It really is. What I love about that, and it gets to how you're able to break through the next, or I don't know about the next, but one of our fears, which is fear of success or fear of failure as you that why, if it is strong enough, you will persevere
Mhm.
and you will continue with the consistency to become successful, to achieve that feeling, to find that fulfillment, to work with, such as you do, these people that are so ready to become empowered and grow their space, grow their impact. I just think it's beautiful. Now, I know that we're coming to a close on the end of our time, and I want to make sure that our audience is able to, number one, please know that, oh my goodness, she is sharing such a beautiful gift with you all. Take advantage of that. Make sure you connect with Samantha so you can become more empowered and face even one or two of the sneaky fears that get into our brains that stop us from moving forward. And let's become high achievers, and we can do this together, and we can grow, and you can achieve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. What is the very, can you give an example of what they'll experience when they get in touch with you? Because I know so many people will.
Yeah, I can do we have a few minutes? Because there's 2 things you said I wanna kinda touch on.
You better believe it.
Okay, perfect. So one thing you said is the fear of success, and I know that's something that a lot of people say is that you're not afraid of failure, you're afraid of success, and I actually don't agree that people are afraid of success. Because when you ask, well, if you succeed, then what? Well, then I'm not going to have enough time, or then people are going to want things from me, or then, well, so it's actually the things that come with success that they're afraid that they might not be able to manage. But that's just really a fear of the unknown and a fear of trusting that you're actually going to be supported and you're going to be able to put in the right structures in place. No one's actually afraid of succeeding. That just doesn't make sense on a core level. It might conflict with their identity. If they believe they're a failure, then it might conflict, but nobody's actually afraid of success. So that's the first thing. And so anyone that's like, oh, I'm not successful because I'm afraid of being successful because I heard some big guru say you're afraid of success. I don't buy it. So I just have to say that. And then the
I love
second
that.
thing,
And I do agree. The fear is it's not the success, it's of the work. And am I enough to take care of what comes with success? I'm
yeah.
so glad you pointed that out. That is such an important point. Yes, thank you.
So welcome. And then the second thing, and this is like a core belief that if you know me well, you know, and it sounds like a conspiracy, but I truly believe that we are raised in a world that's set up like the Matrix, that's totally controlled, and that we are programmed to be conditioned and to be small and to play it safe and to be in the industrialized revolution, to be an employee, to be a taxpayer, to be, you know, modest and apologetic and very boxy. You know, we're conditioned to have these limiting beliefs that we're not enough, we're not beautiful enough, smart enough, tall enough, short enough, cute enough, wealthy enough, you know, supported enough. We're really deeply conditioned to be that way. And so for anybody that has these fears or that isn't achieving the success that they want, it's not your fault. Like society has messed us all up, you know, deeply. And so there's no shame in having fears or not being where you want yet. It's important to just realize it's not my fault. Society messed me up, but that's not an excuse to stay that way. That's where this journey of for me of moving through fear, it's reclaiming our power as sovereign beings and saying, you know what? Like now that I'm aware of this and I'm aware that I'm meant for more, I'm going to claim that for myself. And
Mm.
when we go through that, when we claim that for us, well, it's everything you've ever wanted. It's love, it's freedom, it's vitality, health, fulfillment, connection to spirit. It's getting to live the life that you're meant to live and helping others to do the same. And isn't that why we're here on this planet? I don't know what other journey is more worthy of our life force energy than that.
You know, I love when we get to visit because I love these conversations, and I think that your insightfulness, I'm just going to say this for your age, is quite beautiful and wonderful. I really appreciate that you are reminding all of us that we are here to do this, to grow and to encourage and empower one another and allow this vitality that we all have to be set on fire. I mean, just it's so beautiful. I mean, Samantha, thank you so much for the work that you do and for the impact that you make and for sharing such wise thoughts with all of us. Um, Please, I know that the audience, if they could get in here and ask a lot of questions, they would want to reach out to Samantha. As you can tell, she is passionate about helping others and growing and empowering all of us to take another step and to understand our worth and that we are all so powerful and so worthy of accomplishing whatever our goals are, because when we are doing that, we are affecting others and impacting others so powerfully. So, Samantha, please share with the audience what's the very best way for them to get in touch with you?
Hmm. Two ways. If you want to find out more about me, you can either go to Instagram and check out my Candidly Wild page, and just very authentic, I guess you could say. And I read all my comments. You can send me a message there. Or if you want to find out more about the work that I do and my programs that I have to offer, you can go to samanthalotus.com and you can connect with me there as well.
Just wonderful. Samantha, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I look so forward to our next conversation. And thank your family for sharing you with us. And I
Oh,
can't wait to see you again soon. And I know the audience is saying thank you so very much.
oh, so much love and gratitude for you. Thank you for everything you do. You're amazing, and I love you dearly.
I cannot wait till our next moment. I want to come visit. Well, maybe not when it's 120.
No, come back in the winter when
Yeah,
it's
I
only
think that
90 in the 90s.
okay, thank you.